Vice Chairman of this. This morning, 3 of them will talk about around the topic, the data, progress, and harmony. First, I think I'll invite Mr. Galian to give us a speech. The topic is Youth Olympic Games. After their speech, about 20 minutes, we have 10 minutes discussing. Okay, please, Mr. Galian.
Yes, and it's very difficult to speak about an event that never occurred in 2010, only for the Summer Youth Olympic Games, and 2 years after for the Winter Youth Olympic Games. I want to speak about sport, of course, but you know sport as a faster, higher, stronger. But sport is much more than that. Sport is a project that was defined by Pierre de Coubertin. It's an educational project, it's a societal project, it's an ethical life project, and also, and it will be part of my speech, an hygienic lifestyle and public health project. From the very beginning, there was a belief that, because when you see sports people, that's an image of beauty, harmony, and strength, there was a belief that sports means good health. And now, it's no more a belief, it's a knowledge. Sport emphasizes physical and mental health of man, which is inseparable from health of the social body and of the public mind. During 100 years, Olympism remained a clear and one-dimensional reference. But at the beginning of the 21st century, we can say the Olympic message became blurred a little. Maybe also because of globalization. Globalization changed the view of the project. Education means mediatization. Society means liberalism. Ethics means individualism, result, performance, and health means even hyper-medicalization. The problem for the IOC is trying to manage with paradoxical challenges. It has to maintain a balance between the respect of the Olympic project and the challenges of globalization. And this will be the topic of the 2009 Olympic Congress, the Olympic movement within society. Because we are facing what I call personally, but some others, pro-Olympic sport. It's a money-grabbing sport based on performance and show, mediatization and profit, hyper-medicalization and sometimes doping, and maybe political and ideological recuperation. But also, Olympic sport have made the room for inactive sport people. They live a kind of virtual life and they practice sedentariness. And this is not good for health. So, the IOC tried to answer these challenges by creating the Youth Olympic Games. IOC goes back to basics. Young athletes from the whole world will have access to a top-level sports event. They will be in direct contact with the Olympic symbols and values, and they will have the possibility to pass from the theory of Olympism to the reality of stadium competitions. They will become true Olympians, and we will go back to the real Olympic values, humanism, sporting spirit, healthy lifestyle, fraternity, universality, and peace. It's beautiful. But at least it's what appears to be targeted. Is it possible? Is it possible? We will see. We have to try anyway. Concerning health, we can say it's a matter of emergency. And sometimes, and some people can say it's more late than expected for that. Because we know now that sedentariness is a real danger. In the US, they have identified a sedentary death syndrome with thousands of people dying of it every year. It's a danger for individual body and mind, and it is a danger for social body and for public mind. So we try to fight physical inactivity. What is physical inactivity? It's a behavior. We speak of physical inactivity when 90% of your leisure time you will use very, very little energy. To fight against physical inactivity, we discovered physical activity, which is also a behavior. What type of behavior? Physical activity relates with movements of the body generated by muscular contractions, and it's accompanied by an energy expense. It seems very simple. It is very simple. Maybe too simple. But thousands of researchers from the year 1953 investigated the relationship between physical activity and health, and many conclusions are in fact questionable. You can see thousands of results, but you can consider some of them with caution, because most studies covered only short periods of time, and most studies correlated two elements only: physical activity and health conditions. Physical activity sometimes is isolated from other factors like genetic or like lifestyle, which might, of course, modify the interpretation of the results. And health conditions are evaluated in terms of rate of morbidity or mortality only. And you know that health is more than that. In health, you should consider the quality of life and the well-being, which are difficult to quantify. But even if those results should be put in perspective, we can say that epidemiological studies of different types of cohorts, age, gender, number of participants, health conditions, that the quantification of different types of parameters, mainly intensity, frequency of the effort, duration, type of physical activity, they clearly demonstrate positive effects of physical activity on health. You here have physical activity at work, you have physical activity just in walking with your little dog, or even exercise, but at least at the end of it, clearly there are positive effects of physical activity on health. What is physical activity for health? Prevention, but also therapy. It means that it's prevention because scientific research demonstrated that regular physical activity enables avoiding or delaying the evolution of disorders associated with sedentariness, idleness, poor life hygiene, and aging. Physical activity is medicine because it was proved that it has good therapeutic effects in the treatment of severe chronic diseases, while improving well-being, autonomy, life expectation of a person having sometimes heavy pathologies. So, it's good physical activity. Good, sure. And then you have many recommendations for health-enhancing physical activity. For adults, actually, because it can change sometimes, it's at least 60 minutes of moderate or intensive physical activity per day at least 5 times a week. And for young people, children and adolescents, probably longer periods of activity are recommended. But those kind of recommendations have little effect on general population. We can say that 27% in America of the people follow the recommendation, more or less, and 63% they don't follow it at all, with bad results, of course. And which is worse? The practice of physical activities among young people not only is not increasing much after listening to the recommendation, but actually might even be dropping in some countries. So, what can we do? Recent strategies, scientific persons, they said, okay, we can enhance health through physical activity, and they refer to a play approach, structured training programs, balanced and coordinated series of physical exercises, progressivity with time in the exercise. What do they say? They return to what personally I call sport, which is different of physical activity. And once again, it is sport that means really good health. Physical activity, you know, is only a means to improve the physical condition of an individual. Sport is an experience allowing the development of cognitive, strategic, social, personal skills. That's totally different. And that's why Youth Olympic Games might be important, because they intend to be a step of global education using sport as the starting point and the central core of primary prevention and proaction, which includes health, among other factors. Youth Olympic Games also pretend to be